All right, hold on. This is so exciting. It took me like 30 minutes to figure out how to do this too.
It's great. Now you know. See?
Now I know how to do it. All right, hold on. All right, good. Right. This is so exciting. It took me like 30 minutes to figure out how to do this too.
It's great. Now you know. See?
Now I know how to do it. All right, hold on. All right. Good. So Sharon, we're here. This is so exciting. Hold on. Okay. All right. So it's our first time doing this, obviously. It's so weird, like to see that go back, because I don't know if you heard it, but it was like this weird little thing where you could I could hear our conversation happening like after we just had it. So it was strange. But now we're good. Now it's fine. All right. So this is our first talk conversation that we'll be doing on Thursdays. I'm really excited about it. So these are like 15 minutes tops, just little short conversations about things that, have to do with anything fitness or health related or well-being related. And Sharon, you have most of the topics.
Hey, that's okay. This was a good one today, though. We're good today. We know what we got today.
Yeah. All right. So what are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk about injuries. So we're going to start with your injury. And then from there, we're going to go to just injuries in general.
Yeah.
So you should tell people what you did to yourself.
Yeah. So my injury, I have a like the top part of my foot is sprained, and that happened after in a Muay Thai class. Me and my partner, I know it's such a ridiculous story. I was explaining this today while I was doing small group training, and they were like, oh, that's such a great story, like that's such a great reason to have a sprained foot. But I was in this class, and I was like, we're doing pad work and whatnot. And the guy who I was working with, I don't know, he had his pad position some kind of way. Now I feel like I could have done better on my part. I feel like I could have done better on my part by like really trying to kick with my shin, but I ended up I think kicking with my shin, but I ended up kicking him also in the elbow. And yeah, so my foot, his elbow, bad combination, and now I'm limping around. But I'm actually am doing like better. Just I spent the whole day icing it and elevating it using the rice method. So that was cool. I feel like I'm going to be ready to to live my life and walk normally in a couple of days. So
that's a good thing. How was tonight? How did tonight go?
It was good. So yeah, I had the small group training. I did something called like kickboxing plus, which is
plus a sprained
cardio, right? With my messed up, but it's not my ankle. It's not my ankle. It's my foot. It's the top part of my foot. So, right. Like I've had ankle injuries before, and I feel like those are more common, but I was just kind of like, oh, my foot hurts. I have to remind myself, like, it's not my ankle. I can actually like plantar flex and whatnot. Like it's not that so much. It's like when things touch the top part of my foot, or like when there's pressure on that part of the foot, like that's where I start to feel like some limitation in my movement. But yeah, so I did the kickboxing plus, which is cardio kickboxing mixed in with like HIIT. Right. So it's like, okay, you might do some bag work here. And then after that, you might be doing squat jacks and then you might be doing a sled push. And then after that, you might be doing some uppercuts. You might be doing partner work with me, and that went well. I did tell them I had the injury, but it didn't really stop me from being able to run the class. So
that's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, that's why we decided this would be a good topic, though, because people get injured all the time, right?
Yeah.
You get injured, I get injured, people that just started working out get injured. Yeah. So this is a good thing to talk about. Everybody's not going to do like what you did today, though. We always say, do as I say, not as I do, right? Because
Right.
when we're trainers, we have to go and we do it anyway, no matter
Gotta do
what,
it anyway.
which isn't always
Nobody
the best thing.
cares about, nobody cares. They say they care, but it's like, but are you going to do that class though? Are you going to train your client though?
That's it. And you know what? And the thing is, and how many times, like, I say to people, oh, modify, modify, modify. But then we go in with all kinds of like, oh, and then we end up really not modifying the way we should.
Yeah, it's true. It's the mind over the body thing. Like, you mentally, you're like, I can do this. I know I can do this,
Right.
and so your pride kind of gets in the way of it. But you have to just be like, listen, let me listen to my body. Like, if it's gonna take some time, it's gonna take some time, And I think, like, when you're really in tune with your body, then it makes it easier to make that progression when you're healing, because I look online, I look on Google, and I was like, how long is it going to take for me before, I was like, I got rehearsals I got to be at this weekend and stuff. So I'm like, well, how long is it going to take for this injury to heal itself? And, on Google, it's like 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm like, I don't have 6 to 8. I'm like, I don't have 6 to 8 weeks, like maybe 6 to 8 weeks for me to feel like 1,000%. But like, I need to know when I'm going to be able to like dance again, or when I'm going to be able to like fight again. Like, I need to know when those things are going to be able to happen. So what I feel like is that, the fact that I was taking the anti-inflammatories, and I was resting, I was elevating, I was following that Rice method to a T, icing and compressing, and I wasn't doing any of like the normal stuff that I would normally do and working out really hard and stuff. Like, I wasn't doing any of that. This is probably the most I moved in teaching that class, in the past couple of days since it happened. So just by doing that, then you can like slowly ease yourself back into having a more regular routine like you used to have, without having to wait 6, 7, 8, 10 weeks, just on your bed, eating snacks and watching TV. Like, no.
Yeah. You mean like COVID? Yeah, I get it.
Right.
Yeah,
that was not my life. No, that was not my life. That was not my life at all, Sharon. I kid you not. When the pandemic first happened, I was like, oh, hell no. I'm waking up every day and I'm walking. I walked every single day, started off with 3 miles, then went up to 5 miles, 6 miles, sometimes 10 miles, like every single day. I was like, nah, if I'm not doing anything else, like, let me just move. Cause no,
you definitely did good with that. You did much better than I did. You really did. I didn't move quite as much as you. I would do my, my little things while I was watching TV, but not quite as much as you did. But I have to vouch for the fact that today you did. I know you must have followed Rice, because I saw you taping that thing up today. So you were.
Yep. You sure
doing
did.
what you needed to do. You were doing what you needed to do.
I'm not that hard-headed.
No, I can be, but but you were very good. But talking about that, you have to do that, and I have to do it a lot of times because it's what we have to do.
Right.
But I think that people don't understand that just because you have an injury doesn't mean you have to totally stop working out. So you injured your foot, okay? In a normal world where you're not teaching and you're not dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What would you do if you injured your foot? You'd work probably what? Your
upper body. Yeah. 1,000% upper body. Yep. It's not the first time I had like an injury, right? Like, when you're active, you have injuries. I've had ankle injuries and, IT band injuries.
Yeah.
Tennis elbow, you just work the other parts of your body, but you have to monitor it. I remember the gym I used to work for, I was telling like the fitness director at the time, something happened. He was like, oh, you gonna work out today? And I was like, no, I forget what was injured. Like, I think my something was injured, and my knees or something. I was just like, nope, I'm injured. And he was like, so what's wrong with your arms?
Yeah, there you go. So
I was like, yeah, that's a good point. You're right about that. But
And that's the thing. I mean, so if you have a shoulder injury, then you work lower body. If you have, I mean, the only thing is, I mean, if you end up where you're in a full body cast, that's probably not quite as easy to do that. But
No,
you
no,
can
no, no.
usually manage to do something. So
You can work your hand muscles or your eye muscles or
or your toes or your smile muscles or something. Yeah.
something. No, there's so many. No, you're right though, because there's so many people that I'm sure you've worked with too that they get injured and then they just want to give everything up.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and that's a part of that like all or nothing mentality too, that like either I'm hitting everything and I'm moving forward with it and I'm like on 100, or I'm not doing anything. Oh, I messed up that one time. I'm not doing anything. I'm injured this one time. I'm giving up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens all the time, but I agree with you on that. Like you just got to keep going and knowing what what you can do.
That's right. I mean,
Hard about it.
even sitting in a chair, you don't have weights, use a band. You don't have a band, use water bottles. You don't, that's what it's all about. It's all about keeping some sort of physical activity,
Yeah.
no matter what's happening.
Yeah. And you know what else too, I think is that I think people have like they're not realistic about what exercise actually does to their body too, because the way that I see it, the way that I see it, you basically are beating your body up when you work out.
Right. Well, you are. Yeah.
You're beating your body up when you work out. And so understand that when you're going through all this, like you're going to end up being sore. That's just going to happen. Know the
Right.
difference between being sore and being injured.
Right.
And if you are injured, know that comes with the territory sometimes, like especially if you're in the beginning, you don't really know what you're doing. You might make some mistakes and find yourself, like the back gets blown out all the time. People's backs get blown out all the time doing deadlifts wrong and stuff. Like those things happen sometimes. Correct it, figure out get your form right, figure out what happened. If you don't have a trainer, if you do have a trainer, and ask your trainer, like, what the hell. But
Right. Right. And I think that's part of, I mean, over the couple of years that I've been training people, I probably see
a few years. Oh God.
a couple of years that I've been training people. I think I
Yeah.
see probably more back injuries than anything else. And again, it's a lot of times I want to say it's improper form, but not always improper form. We have people that are coming to us, right, that aren't in the best shape. So their core is not strong. So no matter how safely they're doing the exercises, they end up hurting themselves.
Yep. No, that's exactly what I think of when people have messed up backs. Weak core. My back, and so now I'm gonna sound like I'm just all the time injured, but like
listen, when you do what we do, you are injured all the time.
All the time. Yep. But last year when I was, doing all them hikes and everything, and I would, and also I should say that like degenerative disc disease runs in my family. I'm not, knock on wood, some wood somewhere.
Is there any?
I don't have that, but I would go on these long hikes and I would come back home and I would be like barely able. I told you, you laugh at me because I call myself the old lady and you like, girl, stop.
Yeah, really.
But I get up and I'm like, oh God, like, my whole back hurts and I could barely stand up and stuff. And I put it on Instagram, like, hey guys, help. I'm like dying. And, I said, I'm nursing myself through this. Like, here's what I'm doing in order to, be stronger. But another trainer who's online had DM'd me and was like, hey, let me give you some core exercises that could help you. And I'm like, good. Cause I was thinking I got to strengthen the core, and immediately, like, I started just focusing on those core exercises, and my back, eased right up on into how it was before. And I was able to correct that. And now I don't have any back injuries at all because I make sure that I focus on my core, And I tell that to everybody who comes to me like, oh, my back is this and this. I'm like, core work, where you at with that?
That's it. And the thing is, and you can't, unfortunately for you, nothing you could do about your core is going to help the top of that foot. So, I mean, there's nothing that you can do about that, but no.
Right. Yeah, the top of the foot, that's just going to have to rest. And as much as I want to push it, because you do want to do that when you're injured, sometimes you're just like, okay, it's getting better. I want to push through it. But
mistake.
Yeah. It's a trap. It's a whole trap. Like, you cannot do that. So I'm gonna just try to like be patient and everything, because with all of this whole thing, it's all mental. It's all mental in the sense that you have to have patience to really heal.
Yes.
Because if you push it too much, you're not gonna heal right, and then you're gonna have bigger issues.
Yep. And I think too, like, a lot of times if somebody's really working out and they're very into working out and they're doing it now, they're gung-ho, they're doing it, and something happens and they get injured, and even if it's only going to take a few days for it, they are so afraid that they're going to lose their gains. And I don't think they realize that rest sometimes is as important to your routine as working out, because your muscles get big in rest and your muscles repair during rest. So you need that rest time. Yeah. So with us, it's our body telling us maybe slow it down a little.
Well, there's nothing wrong with my arms. So
amen. There you go. There you go.
So, it might just be that I'm just going to skip the lower body stuff. But I think also it's a blessing though, like I said, that it's not my ankle that has the issue. So as long as the swelling goes down, I might be a little bruised up, but I have a feeling that I'm not using those top, like the foot, the top part of my foot, like where I have the injury. I don't use it so much that I don't think I'll be able to heal quickly.
Right.
It's harder, I think, when it's the ankle, like you're always using the ankle and stuff, it's a weird spot you saw it,
Yeah. The top of the foot.
Yeah, it's a weird, it's a weird spot. So it's like, when do you use that? Like where I'm not going to be able to heal, like I'll be all right. I'm gonna put my foot up on the table, or the chair, not the table, as I got home training. I got home training. I'm not putting my feet up on the table.
Atta girl. Atta girl.
Oh wow.
I got my elbows on the table, but that's because I'm not eating. But if I was eating, my elbows would not be on the table.
You're not supposed to put your elbows on the table though, right? It's a thing. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put them in your lap. And it has something to do. What is it? Do you know what that has to do with?
I have no idea. I only know that when I was a kid, I put my elbows on the table. My mother said, "Get your elbows," especially at dinner time.
Right?
Elbows do not. But I don't know. It's got to be some sort of. Sounds like it's something that came from like down south when the ladies had to really be ladies or something. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like at some point I knew what it was, but. Yeah, not anymore. I have no clue what it's about.
Listen, as soon as we're done here, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on Google trying to find out why you can't put your elbows on the table.
And then you can text that to me later.
I will do that.
You'll let me know. Okay, fair enough. Oh man. right. So it's something else that you said that you want to talk about. I know you said, well, you want to put me on the spot for my injury. I know. And
I definitely want to put you on the spot for your injury, but
I know.
I basically just wanted people, everybody to realize that when you're injured, you can work other parts of your body.
Yeah.
It's not like when you're sick. It's kind of different when you're sick. When you're sick, it's not quite the same. When you're sick, you have to take it easy.
Oh my God. Can we take 2 seconds to talk about this though before we
can?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I know we only have like 4 more minutes, right? These are like little, quick 15-minute calls. But okay. So there's a debate when you're sick. Do you work out? Do you not work out? Now, I feel so I've heard that what is it? If it's like from your chest or above, then you're good. And if it's below, like your stomach or aches and pains, like full body aches and pains, then you shouldn't do it. That's what I've heard. Now I'm going to go ahead and say that if you're feeling sick and you're not talking about like working out in your own home, then like you're talking about going to a gym and working out, then like you should just not do that because that's just inconsiderate and like you're being an asshole at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like people that wear their masks down here when they're on their cardio machine.
I mean, because it's like you're also gonna die. So I can't say nothing about that because I sometimes am guilty as charged. Like the thing just falls down a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I get a little extra air,
a little air.
Back up. I came back and forth.
Yep. Listen, I'll tell you what though, I've always told people, and I don't know, I tell people all the time, if something is in your chest, like if you've got a cold, chest cold, something like that, no cardio.
Because you're gonna be dying anyway. Like if you feel like you got pneumonia, who wants to be trying to breathe? Even like it's already hard for you to breathe.
Well, that's the thing. And even, I mean, if you're congested in your head and stuff like that, it's still difficult. But I don't think it's as bad to work out with congested head as it is to work out with stuff.
No, I think that's what I meant, right?
Yeah.
Not the chest, not a chest and above. I mean above the chest.
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, so that's the thing. So if you're feeling like if you're coughing and stuff, or it's a phlegmy cough, absolutely not. You don't do it. Right. Yeah. Okay. Because I hear these stories about folks with like COVID and or the flu or whatever, any kind of respiratory thing, and they're like, I'm gonna go work out, and I'm looking like, not to be judgmental, but is that the best choice?
It's absolutely not even just for them, but for everybody else, like you were saying.
Exactly. So the other side of that is that I thought, right, that, or from my understanding, when you work out at high intensity, right, it temporarily lowers your immune system. Now, I've seen research supporting this, and I've seen research debunking this, right? So what do you think? What's your opinion?
You know what? It's really hard to say, because here's the thing. I think that if you're not fit and you're trying to get fit, and you're working out at that level, I'm going to say, it lowers your immunity.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it for a long period of time, it's going to lower your immunity. I think that's why I say to people all the time, including my son, I tell him all the time, because he was like all out all the time, doing intervals all the time on the cardio machines. And I said, don't do that all the time, because it's not good for you. Eventually, it's going to tire you out, and it's going to lower your immune system.
Right.
So
Because that's
I
the
think
thing about glutamine, glutamine being an immune system support, especially with your gut health, but also, because your immune system is pretty much in your gut, that's why they say in terms of supplements, like make sure that you're taking your vitamins and make sure that you're, if you're doing high intensity, when I was getting my supplement education, it was like, get your glutamine. Like, not only are you going to not be feeling the effects of this as much, like you're not going to be as hurt,
yeah.
but you're also going to have a little boost in your immune system because of all of those changes.
I'm one of those people. I mean, you've known me long enough to know that I think that there's got to be, I feel great about going all out and doing all kinds of HIIT workouts and intervals and stuff like that. That's awesome. But you just can't do it all the time. It's like everything else. You have to mix it up. So anything that you do hard like that for any period of time is going to lower your immune system.
Yeah, people don't want to believe it. And then if you're doing that and you're not sleeping, like, that's also a whole other thing. There's so much to talk about. We're gonna have really great conversations.
We are going to have really good conversations. We got a whole bunch of topics we could talk about.
We got a whole bunch of topics, but this one I think is like relevant today. We're in the middle of cold and flu season. We're in this pandemic, and on top of COVID, there's all these other things that normally happen that people are also getting, and so it's important. It's a good question because people they figure, oh, I'm going to sweat it out. Like, we've all heard that I'm going to go and sweat it out, but it's like, okay, you might feel better then and there, but like, you have to really, and the argument there, right, is that it's like, I think the argument is that it's increasing your body temperature, something. I don't know like what the argument is for, like, I'm going to sweat it out and then I feel better, but I've done it before and I do feel better sometimes, but it's like, you just have to listen to your body and be careful. But if
it is
above the head, below, no go.
But it is really, I mean, you hit it, you said it, listen to your body. It's true. We say it all the time. It's true. If not just because mentally you don't feel like working out, but I mean, if you wake up and your body's like, whoa, I really can't do this today.
Yeah.
Then, don't.
That's right. Common sense.
Yep.
All right, Sharon. Well, yeah. Thank you for the conversation tonight.
Brandi, Nick, it's always my pleasure. All
right. So, so we'll do another conversation next Thursday. So every Thursday.
We'll see you. We'll be here.
Bye. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.